Hello, and thank you for joining. My name is Max with Attaxion, and over the next couple of minutes, I want to answer for you what is Attaxion by showing you how it uncovers and maps all of your internet-exposed infrastructure, prioritizes threats, and reveals malicious traffic without installing an agent of any kind on your network. Let's start with some of the challenges that teams are facing today. So it's very easy to create a new asset, like creating a new subdomain, making a new S3 bucket, or opening a port. And it's difficult to track every new asset as it comes online and all the different asset types that make up your network. Additionally, if those assets aren't being tracked, then we know they aren't being patched or updated, potentially giving attackers low-hanging fruit for exploit. Also, vulnerabilities aren't the only threats. Just like NVD isn't the only vulnerability database, and teams really want to make sure they have maximum coverage and observability from one tool. So to help you address these challenges, Attaxion employs more MITRE techniques, constantly running every single day so you're up to date with the latest information in your attack surface. We also want to give you more visibility than ever without charging you an arm and a leg to do it. Additionally, we're going to leverage more than just NVD or CVSS scores by including context from EPSS, EUVD, and the CCNVD vulnerability databases to ensure maximum coverage to find anything that could be used to harm your organization. Now, before getting into the actual product itself, I want to share this slide with you to give you a high-level overview of how Attaxion works. So we start by taking your target domain, like example.com. We would do a series of API calls like whois, reverse whois, DNS, for example. We would find your IP. We'd run that through reverse IP to see where it resolves and if you actually own it or if it belongs to a content delivery network like Cloudflare or Amazon, for example. We'd want to see if we can find any other network information about it, where it's located. And the goal here is to collect as many different data points, feed them back to reverse searches to see if we can find any other different connections to any other pieces of your infrastructure that might be exposed. Now, Attaxion is very unique in the fact that we do employ some really cool data sources and more data types than any other attack surface management platform out there because we have such great industry partnerships out there lending a hand in the form of their data that helps us do some of this discovery. Now, I would please invite you to come and try this yourselves with a free trial of Attaxion after this presentation. When you first log into Attaxion, this is what you'll see. You'll see some high-level information about your organization's exposed infrastructure, like this average risk score, the total number of assets and the various assets and any growth week over week. You'll also see the total number of open issues for your organization, and you can see how your organization has been doing at reducing that risk over time. Even further, you'll see the most recent issues, technologies, and assets so that we are always up to date on what's happening in your attack surface. And finally, at the bottom of the page, you're going to see all of your assets geographically represented to quickly see where your assets are and make sure they are where you think they are, and none are where you know they shouldn't be. The next thing I want to show you is our graph page, which would be a great way to touch and feel your attack surface and see how all your different domains and all their sub-assets are connected. This would be great for organizations who want to identify a single point of failure in their attack surface, or maybe too many subdomains or IPs are relying on a single service. Additionally, any companies going through mergers and acquisitions might want to make sure they're retiring old assets and also all assets on the same network have the same security standards. Everything you see here can be clicked into to learn a little more about each individual asset. But moving on, next I want to show you our assets page. And from this screen, I can learn more about my organization's exposed assets. I can search, I can filter, and I can sort to find the assets that I care about most. Just like you saw on the last screen, I can also click in any specific asset to learn more about it. I can also click in any of these tabs here to learn more asset level information. Next, let's take a look at some of the issues that Attaxion is able to uncover. From here, you can see some high-level information about your organization's exposed risks. Attaxion tracks both CVEs and CWEs, and you can see the ones that we detected distributed here from low to high severity. Scrolling down, you can also see the most unique issues Attaxion detected. So these would represent the most widespread issues throughout your attack surface where one change or one policy difference could have the biggest impact on the most devices. Coming back up top, we can switch over to a list view and look at all the assets again. Just like on the previous page, we can search, filter, and sort to find which issues we care most about. Next, I'll show you our traffic page. Without installing an agent of any kind on your network, Attaxion is able to detect both inbound and outbound traffic to your IPs. This uses a combination of both active DNS and NetFlow technology to provide all this data you see here. We can also run the IPs that your IPs are seen talking to through threat feeds to see if they're talking to anything known to be malicious. We also classify the various attack types here so you can sort and filter to see which ones are most pressing to help defend yourselves against emerging threats in real time. And for our service provider friends, we also offer an MSSP admin panel where they can manage and also create new accounts for customers. And finally, one of our goals when we set out to build Attaxion was to really be the most cost-effective and most valuable tool on the market. And we really hope to live up to that promise by offering transparent, easy to understand pricing that only takes into account assets that you actually own that aren't part of any sort of content delivery network that you have no control over. And coming back now to what is Attaxion. I hope by the end of this presentation you've seen that we are a continuous exposure monitoring platform offering unmatched data quality with the highest vulnerability coverage and the best value and cost efficiency on the market. For more information or to start a free trial, please visit us at attaxion.com or you can reach out to me for support or questions anytime at maxbeatty@attaxion.com.